Welcome to our Trump briefing show, folks. Today, we've got a wild mix of politics, international drama, and some Hollywood shakeups. First up, former Maine Governor Paul LePage is throwing his hat into the ring for Maine's 2nd Congressional District, a battleground that's been swinging between parties. Known for his fiery comments and Trump support, LePage is ready to shake up the race against Democrat Jared Golden, and everyone's watching closely. Next, things are heating up in the Middle East. Israel has approved plans to seize and occupy Gaza, displacing thousands of Palestinians, which has sparked international outrage. This escalation comes with military mobilizations and controversial plans to control aid, raising fears of a deeper conflict and worsening humanitarian crises. The world is watching as tensions escalate and the humanitarian situation worsens. Finally, in the world of energy and diplomacy, Iran's oil exports to China are defying U.S. sanctions, thanks to a shadow fleet of tankers. Despite maximum pressure campaigns, Iran continues to earn billions from China, complicating U.S. efforts to isolate Tehran. It's a game of cat and mouse at sea, with major geopolitical implications on the horizon. Please continue to stay tuned for more details. The Toronto Star vividly captures the political landscape in Maine as former Governor Paul LePage, a fiery supporter of Donald Trump and a figure known for his provocative rhetoric, announces his bid for Congress. LePage, who served from 2011 to 2019 and made headlines with incendiary comments about drug dealers and his self-described status as Donald Trump before Donald Trump became popular, aims to challenge Democratic Representative Jared Golden in Maine's 2nd District. This district, a battleground with a history of swinging between parties, is especially critical in the upcoming elections, given its recent close races and the district's support for Trump in past elections. LePage's return from Florida to Maine signals his determination to capitalize on the district's conservative leanings, even as Golden emphasizes local issues like fishing communities and job security, dismissing LePage's candidacy as a distraction from real concerns. The Toronto Star details Israel's alarming new strategy to seize and occupy Gaza, a move that could drastically escalate the ongoing conflict. Approved by Israel's cabinet, the plan involves capturing Gaza and maintaining a military presence indefinitely, which would deepen the humanitarian crisis and displace hundreds of thousands of Palestinians to the south. This escalation comes amid relentless Israeli military strikes that have killed over 52,000 Palestinians and displaced most of Gaza's population since the ceasefire ended in mid-March. Israel's efforts to control aid distribution, using private security and facial recognition technology, have sparked fierce opposition from aid organizations and the UN, who accuse Israel of weaponizing humanitarian assistance and violating international law. The plan's potential to entrench Israeli control and undermine Palestinian aspirations for statehood has drawn widespread condemnation, especially from families of hostages who fear prolonging the conflict. Deutsche Welle paints a stark picture of Iran's resilience amid U.S. sanctions, emphasizing the shadowy tactics Iran employs to sustain its oil exports, primarily to China. Despite the reimposition of maximum pressure by the Trump administration and new sanctions targeting Iranian entities, Iran's oil flows have rebounded to over 1 million barrels daily, largely through clandestine operations involving aging tankers and ship-to-ship transfers under false flags. These shadow fleets evade detection, making enforcement challenging for U.S. and regional authorities, especially in Southeast Asia where cooperation is complicated by political ties. The weakening of U.S. leverage, particularly with China's refusal to recognize sanctions and its continued purchases, underscores the difficulty of halting Iran's vital revenue stream. As the shadowy global tanker industry expands, experts warn that even aggressive enforcement may not fully stop Iran's oil trade, highlighting the deepening challenge Washington faces in curbing Tehran's economic influence amidst geopolitical tensions. The Toronto Star vividly captures Hollywood North's looming crisis, as U.S. President Donald Trump's recent threat to impose a 100% tariff on foreign-produced movies sends shockwaves through Canada's vibrant film industry, which contributed $12.2 billion in 2023 alone. Toronto, often standing in for American cities in countless productions, faces the peril of losing its lucrative film and TV projects, many destined for U.S. audiences. The U.S. film industry itself has seen a notable decline, with overall production dropping by 26% in 2023 compared to 2021, and top filming locations shifting away from Hollywood to places like Toronto, Vancouver, and even international hubs like Australia and Central Europe. California, once the heart of American filmmaking, is particularly affected, with a 5.6% decrease in production last year, prompting proposals to expand tax credits in a bid to revive its industry amid this decline. Yahoo US paints a disturbing picture of President Trump's mental health concerns, fueled by his recent social media posts threatening drastic measures like tariffs on foreign films and the reopening of Alcatraz to house criminals. Former insiders like George Conway openly questioned Trump's cognitive stability, with Conway speculating whether the former president might need institutionalization, especially after Trump's bizarre claims about the film industry dying and foreign nations' propaganda efforts. Other critics, including Republican Joe Walsh, echo these worries, emphasizing the importance of scrutinizing Trump's mental fitness amid his increasingly erratic statements, such as proposing to reopen Alcatraz and questioning the constitutional rights of Americans accused of crimes, further fueling fears about his stability as he continues to make controversial, unorthodox policy proposals. Yahoo US also details Trump's provocative social media antics, including a controversial AI-generated image depicting himself as the Pope, which drew rebukes from Catholic bishops, and his call to turn Alcatraz back into a prison to imprison the most dangerous criminals, echoing his hardline stance on immigration and crime. His weekend was marked by a flurry of inflammatory posts, including accusations of federal judges blocking deportations and efforts to deport individuals with no criminal records, such as a Cuban mother. Trump's push to reopen Alcatraz and impose tariffs on foreign films underscores his broader agenda of restoring what he perceives as America's lost strength and seriousness, even as critics warn that his actions and rhetoric threaten to destabilize social norms and international relations, all while he continues to dominate headlines with his unconventional and often controversial approach to governance. Yahoo US reports on the intriguing history of Alcatraz, an island in San Francisco Bay that has become synonymous with America's most notorious prison. Originally designated for public use by President Millard Fillmore in 1850, it evolved from a military site housing Confederate prisoners during the Civil War to a high-security federal prison in the 1930s, housing infamous gangsters like Al Capone and George "Machine Gun" Kelly. Despite its reputation, the prison was ultimately abandoned in 1963 due to logistical challenges, most notably, the island's lack of fresh water and the high operational costs, with expenses soaring to over 3 times that of a mainland facility. Today, Alcatraz is a popular tourist destination, drawing over 1 million visitors annually to explore its historic cells and learn about its turbulent past, including numerous daring escape attempts, such as the famous 1962 escape dramatized in the film Escape from Alcatraz, which left authorities pondering whether the prisoners survived the treacherous waters. The Independent highlights the recent concerns surrounding cruise ship health safety amid the COVID-19 pandemic's aftermath, focusing on the CDC's Vessel Sanitation Program, VSP. Due to staff reductions initiated during the Trump administration, the program's capacity to monitor and respond to outbreaks has been compromised, raising alarms over the rising incidence of illnesses like norovirus. This year alone, nearly 16 outbreaks have been reported on cruise ships, close to the total for all of 2024, mainly caused by a new strain called GII.17, which has led to a surge in cases because most people lack immunity. The program's diminished staffing and funding cuts have sparked fears that the rigorous inspections and outbreak investigations necessary to safeguard passengers are now less effective. Despite the industry's claims that the risk of illness on ships remains low, experts warn that the combination of crowded conditions, contagious viruses, and reduced oversight could pose serious health risks during summer cruises. The AP reports on the political and environmental battles over wind energy in the United States, with former President Donald Trump's administration actively reversing gains made under the Biden administration. Trump's executive order, issued on his first day in office, halted approvals, permits, and loans for wind projects nationwide, including offshore developments that are vital for many states' renewable energy goals. This move has led to lawsuits from 17 states and Washington, D.C., who argue that the order unlawfully obstructs progress in clean energy and threatens thousands of jobs and investments. Notably, projects like the Empire Wind Farm off Long Island, which was nearly 30% complete, faced suspension, igniting fears of setbacks in America's push toward sustainable power sources. Meanwhile, other nations, such as the UK and Canada, are ramping up their investments in offshore wind, emphasizing the global shift toward renewable energy and highlighting the contentious debate over energy policy, climate change, and economic growth in the U.S. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6 Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6 team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6 Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6 Brief via email.
News breaks, buzz the ground, stories spin, walls come down, voices merge in the sound, faces mix in the crowd, broadcasters paint the scene, world events on our screen, every link a different theme, words collide in the stream, 6 degrees connect the dots, background stories more than knots. The voices rise aloft, truth unveils in every spot, cultures clash across the globe, spin the threads in a strobe, every story wears a robe, truth and lies in their code, journalists dig real deep, secrets out, they don't sleep, every angle they will keep. In the news we take a leap, new perspectives day by day, hidden truths come to play, in the background shades of gray, every story finds its way. New perspectives day by day.